Okay, here we have a very foggy day in Wellington.
Yeah, it was quite astounding yesterday. It was beautifully clear over in Wainui, and then in about 10 minutes we just saw this wall of cloud come over and completely block everything out. Just as I was going to film something, of course.
Well, I think things haven't really changed much since yesterday because it was more or less the same and it's expected to remain for the rest of today.
Morning.
Hi Faisal, how are you? I'm recording my video log.
Might want to take a shot of the hills in the distance or draped in cloud. I think it's quite cool in a way. It's not cold though.
No, it's not cold at all. I quite like the mist. It's quite atmospheric. I have to say it's coming this morning, and I decided I was going to have a busy day, so I wouldn't bother putting the A7 in the car. But then came through and saw all the street lights shining down through the mist and everything, and was wishing I had put the bloody thing in then. Hi, today I wanted to talk a bit about the GoPro 5 Black. There's a number of things about it that frankly could be a hell of a lot better. First of all, we've got the lens on it. Now it's a great lens and it picks up a lot of detail, and as you know, the sensor picks a good 4K sensor and everything, but it's always clipping that wide angle, getting that fisheye look on everything, and it can be quite hard to watch all the time. Though the GoPro 5 Black does have the new linear mode in it, which takes some of that out, but not all of it. The next thing with the GoPro that I found a bit annoying is the sound quality on it without having an external microphone. It's a good microphone, I'll give it that one. It picks up just about everything, and while that's a great thing, it's also one of its downsides. The audio dynamic range on it is quite good, and I was really impressed actually by how it still picked up speech and cut out a lot of noise when I had the GoPro underwater in some tests. But it's still a very noisy microphone, and it's not directional. It doesn't have a directional option, and for a lot of uses that sort of flags it out. The third thing is that, and this is the same with all small form factor cameras, is that when you're holding it, the lens is at the center of rotation, which is kind of exactly the opposite of what you want with any sort of Steadicam rig or stabilizer that you use. These things all work by putting a mass well away from the camera and changing the center of rotation of a whole system. When you're running around with a GoPro, the lens is basically right at the center of any sort of motion that's moving, which just makes it potentially very, very shaky. GoPro have done a pretty good job with the 5 Black of both the lens stabilizer and the image stabilization within it. They remove quite a lot of that, not all of it, but just because of the size of the camera, you're always going to get that motion. Next thing that's another bit of a gripe is the mount systems and things like that. Very convenient, with the clip-on, clip-out mount, very quick to move around things. But if you're moving around too much, they're still quite loose systems and they bounce around quite a lot and you get a lot of wobble in them. There are some pretty good aftermarket bits and pieces that are made of metal, which do a hell of a lot better job than the plastic stuff that comes with the GoPro. So GoPro doing a range of pro metal mounts and things like that could be very worthwhile doing. The next thing is the housings available. They're quite difficult to get in and out of sometimes. To be able to get at if you've got the wrap housing around the GoPro 5, it does protect it really well, but it makes it very hard to get at the door to open it up to be able to plug things into it. So generally when I've got the microphone plugged in, I've got to take the waterproofing door off, so it's no longer a weatherproof device. On saying that, it's not that big a deal, so you can actually completely remove that door and then get to the ports through the hole in the side of the housing. It would be nice if you could open up that door without having to remove the entire housing to do it. The dynamic range is another one. While the auto exposure moves around quite nicely to get exposure on what's in the subject, it does very quickly blow out lights or shadows around it. That is a fair bit better when you're in the flat high dynamic range mode, but I'm yet to play with that and get a terribly satisfactory result out of it. That's probably partly me. I need to do a bit more work, and it doesn't give you that instant gratification of color that you do out of the normal GoPro color mode. So these are all these things about the GoPro. It's not a perfect camera by any stretch of the imagination. It's a very good camera. There are a lot of better things that you can use for, say, vlogging. So getting a Sony A7 seems to be quite a popular one at the moment, or the Canon D70 or D60 range is a lot of people are using those as well because they're quite lightweight. The GoPro doesn't have a flip out or rotating screen or anything, so you can't see what you're shooting. You're just trusting it. Though I have to say, given all of these things and all of the little problems and annoyances to GoPro, it's still the first camera I grab every time I want to go do something, because I can just pick the thing up, push the button, and I'm shooting. And it's not the best footage, but it's good footage. It's not the best sound, but it is good sound. And I know that every time I pick it up and use it, I'm going to get something I can use. So, not the perfect camera, but certainly the most convenient camera I've ever had. And I've got two of them. I mean, there are a lot of little things we could ask GoPro to do to the camera to turn it into something that would be perfect for vlogging, and much more usable for a lot of things, like being able to swap the lens out for different zoom lenses, having the lens interchangeable. We already know that the lens in the GoPro can be removed and swapped out for something else. They're not made by GoPro, they're a third-party product. And there are hacks that you can find on Google quick enough where you can take a different lens from the same manufacturer and mount it on the GoPro board above the current one, and voila, you've got a zoomed-in GoPro and that sort of thing. Being able to swap this lens out and have some sort of thread, it is already a threaded mounting system, so having some sort of good mounting system and just being able to say, well, I'm going to take that lens out and then put another one in, and voila, I've got a different focal length. That would be really good. I do like that I can very quickly mount the GoPro up in the car and on this the setup I've got here. It's unobtrusive, it's out of the way, it's not blocking my vision because it's on the door pillar and all that sort of thing. And that just makes it very easy for me to use this conveniently, so I can do these little spiels on my way home. At the same time, I'm using the GoPro mount to hold iPhone up here, so I've got another angle of footage if I want it, though that one does shake around a bit too much, and the front camera, even on the iPhone 7 Plus, is still a bit shaky. And then with the other camera here, I can just hold that up on the windscreen like I am here, and get some good weather shots and things and environment shots on my way home. So I've got my travel montage sorted out, and I don't need to do a hell of a lot to make that work really well. Hold the camera up in the side window, see some interesting feature I want to get, or something that's happening on the side of the road, I can just grab it at a moment's notice. Single button push and I'm recording, single button, it's saved, and GoPro's off again. So for convenience sake, the GoPro definitely gets it an 11 out of 10 every time. There's absolutely no doubt about that. For image quality, you know, it's consistent, it's good color reproduction. It could have slightly better dynamic range, but that can be said for a lot of other cameras. And it works. You know, you don't have to do anything to it when you put it in timeline. You can, but you don't have to. Sound coming out of it, to be honest, plugging the Rode micro video mic into it like I've got here is not a big deal. And I can take that off and put it on the bottom of this other setup here. It just screws onto that thread, and I've got a mini rig, so I do have some of that stabilization I was talking about. So yes, the GoPro could be different in a large number of ways. There's a lot of things they could do to it to make it a better camera. They could put it on a cold shoe mount. They could have bigger battery. They could have interchangeable lenses. They could have different storage options and outputs and inputs and things like that. But then it wouldn't be the GoPro, and the hallmark of that is pick it up and run with it. And that it certainly does very, very well. Can't complain about that. So yeah, there's my 10-minute summary on the GoPro 5 Black. Would I swap it out for something else? Hell no. Are there better cameras? Hell yes. Is it the most convenient thing that I own, and is it the first one I grab every time I want to go do something? Sure is. Even when I've got the other cameras, I've got the GoPro with me as well. So, hope that was useful for you. Click like and subscribe, and leave a comment below, and then click on those share buttons and flick this around all your friends on the web, and have a good evening.